Welcome to the Andy Staples Show. It's a post-Super Bowl edition. Ari Wasserman is here, and the only reason I think he's here is because Joe Burrow did not lead a touchdown drive at the end of the game, because, Ari, if he had, I think you probably would have been celebrating. I don't think you would have come back.
No, yeah. If the Bengals won 27-23, either I guess it wouldn't have happened in overtime, but if he would have let a touchdown drive there at the end, we would have been $3,000 richer. It was a combination of squares, because it had 7-3 at the end in the fourth quarter. It was a combination of money line bets. The over didn't hit as a result of it, and a lot of things went wrong. But I'm like the type of person that bets so many props, I didn't even know what I was rooting for half the time. But I did get Odell Beckham to score the first touchdown of the game at 12-1, which was nice. And then I had Cooper Kupp anytime touchdowns, which I think is the easiest bet in the history of mankind.
Yeah, he had a lot of touchdowns.
And I don't know if we're going to get into a stars discussion on the show. I think we might, but of course, the fact that he was an unrated prospect is amusing.
Yes, unrated Cooper Kupp and 3-star Aaron Donald, the most important people in this game.
Yeah, but that's gambling, man. And I had a bunch of money line plays on the Bengals to just win outright, and I had +4.5, and it would have been a disaster, if the game would have gone to overtime and then the Bengals would have lost by 6. But we were really close. Everybody was having a good time. We were all drinking, and everybody was watching the game, and I'm sitting there like crisscross applesauce on the end of the couch, just like begging for a touchdown, and like everybody was like, "What's going on with that guy?" I was a weird guy that was sweating in the corner.
Were you screaming that they handed to Samaje Perine when, like, I don't have a problem running on 3rd and 1 there. I really don't, because the Rams have to defend the perimeter, because if you complete anything, you're in Evan McPherson's range essentially. So I don't have a problem running the ball there, but run it with Joe Mixon.
Yeah. What about the 4th down call? You throw there?
Yes,
you do. Timeout situation?
Because the timeout situation, and just because, I mean, so much can go wrong trying to run the ball with Aaron Donald on the field, and if they think you're gonna run, they're gonna put Ashawn Robinson in, and that's not good. Yeah. Aaron Donald, by the way, I already thought he was the best player in the NFL, but that last drive, like the tackle he made on Perine was unbelievable, because the guard was still on him at the time. He just sort of reached over and grabbed Perine. I was like, nope, I'm gonna take you and this other dude down.
So who won the MVP of the game, Andy?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Because I bet on Aaron Donald at 7-1 and 14-1.
Oh,
but I don't think that he won the MVP though. He had a great final drive, but
it's probably Cooper Kupp.
Kupp, I'm assuming, is the one that got it, because he scores the touchdowns, and that's how people vote. But
Cooper Kupp is the MVP.
Yeah, I am always so amped. I love the Super Bowl. It's my favorite thing in the world, and gambling on it is an event that is just like nothing is like it. And like the amounts of weird bets that I bet that the no team would score in the final 2 minutes of the first half, and I was sitting there screaming, when Stafford threw a few shots downfield, and it's just so much fun. But then it's just like, we have to wake up tomorrow or Monday morning, recording this Sunday night right after the Super Bowl, and like football's gone for a while, and that's always sad to me. So
it is sad. And look, for you and I, it's not as bad, because we get to go cover spring practice. We get to watch some football and talk to some football people here between us. But it's a long time until, like, think about how long it's been since you and I were together for week 0 of college football, and we fired Scott Frost after they lost to Illinois.
Yeah,
he managed to keep his job. So good job. Good on you, Scott Frost, with the weirdest plus minus ever in Big Ten play. But yeah, it's so far away. I saw the commercials for the first Thursday night football. I guess it's moving to Amazon Prime. So the first NFL Thursday night football game is September 15th. That feels like another lifetime.
Yeah, you know how it goes, though. Summer comes, the beers start flowing, and the next thing you know, my birthday's July 20th. We got media days, and we're back at it. Boy. So, it's what I really do enjoy doing the summer podcast, though.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get a little wild in the
summer.
Of
games. Do random rankings, talk about cinnamon rolls, and college football. And I don't know if you agree with me on this, but I thought our last show was like the best show we've done. Like we got a
lot of discussion generated out of what vehicle will you buy? And it's funny because you and I had a long text discussion the next morning,
Mm-hmm.
and both of us are like, maybe you shouldn't get a car right now and just sort of wait this out until the supply chain stuff dies down.
So I think I know what I'm going to get.
Okay. All right. What are you going to get?
I think I'm just going to buy a 2021 gently used Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Okay.
And some people think it's a terrible mistake because it's an American-made car that has
it's a Fiat now.
Some pretty bad, like, yeah, I don't know. Some people, you know what the thing about cars is? Some people buy a car and it's a lemon and they think it's the worst brand in the world. And then somebody will say, I got this car and I ran it into the ground 350,000 miles and nothing bad happened. So it's kind of like a crapshoot. But I'm going to buy a car for 35 grand or 30 grand. And to me, that's probably better than buying a depreciating asset for 65 or 70 right now. And it's like some of those trucks, you know, are really nice. And I know that you were trying really, really hard to talk me into getting
but those hold their value. That's the difference. They're all depreciating assets, but some depreciate at a different rate than others.
I know they say fake it till you make it, but you've met me. I don't think I could pull off a truck.
I think you could.
But, I haven't made any decisions yet, but the Jeep Grand Cherokee just seems to be the most reasonable. It suits my needs. It's a 4x4.
You'll be ready for the first ice storm.
Yeah. And then when I turn 40 in a few years, then maybe I'll reward myself with something really nice.
That's what I did. That's what I did. I was very sensible, and then had my midlife crisis with.
And it's like if I bought a Porsche Cayenne, people were making fun of me. But if I were to buy a Porsche Cayenne, that would just be the dumbest way to spend money right now. Like I'm at this point in my life.
When you told me how much it would be, I was like, please don't do that.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
I had a friend that of my fiance's was going to give us trade-in value for a gently used one. It would have been a screaming deal, but it still was a heck of a lot of money. And
it's a lot of money, right? It would have been a really good deal for that vehiil, but
yes,
you put yourself in a
let me just put it this way. I'm not paying $30,000 for HD dashboard that I'll get bored of, in a few years. So, pray for me if I get this car that it lasts. I will buy an extended warranty on it. It's a more sensible financial decision. And, I talked with, just like real life stuff that I just didn't have to consider a few years ago, like we have daycare coming up. We have this nanny, this baby is not going to be getting cheaper, activities and all this stuff. And it's like, am I really going to sink an extra $30,000 so I look cool when I pull into a parking lot? Like it's just
there you go. Look at you made a grown-up decision, Ari. I'm so proud.
It's not fun, but I made a grown-up decision. And then when I turn 40, if things are going well, and hopefully they will be, then maybe I'll do something nice for myself.
This is perfect. I love it because she I don't know what you guys' plans are, but there may be a little brother or sister at some point. So
it's life's not getting cheaper from here.
Exactly. So good. I'm glad. See, we're helping people. I got some pushback on the wing advice. They'd be like, I still like the drums. It shouldn't be that hard to eat.
I did it. I'm
like,
I did.
You did the twisty? Yes.
Changed my life, dude.
Good.
We got garlic Parmesan wings, and I'm like, we have a bunch of drumsticks, and I would have just put honestly, if we never had that discussion, I just would have put in 4 or 5 drumsticks on my plate and just moved on with my life. The first thing I grabbed was a flat, and the first attempt at it, it worked, and I only ate flats at my Super Bowl party.
It feels like so for people who grew up playing baseball, when you hit the ball in the sweet spot, or if you're a golfer, like if you just hit a drive perfectly, that is what it feels like when you get all of the meat off in one shot on the Wing Twisty.
But here's the one drawback that you didn't mention. If the people around you aren't privy, and I was at a Super Bowl party with a bunch of my fiance's female friends.
Oh yeah. Well,
if people aren't aware of what's going on, they look at you like you're a psychopath.
Yeah.
Like one of her friends was like, what did you just do? And I was just like,
my wife has been married to me for 21 years almost. It'll be 21 years in July. And she still looks at me like I'm a psychopath when I eat wings.
She's like, I've never seen anybody clean off all the skin. Like it almost like I was embarrassed. It's like, I shouldn't be this good at eating.
Yes, you should. And I'm glad you added to your eating skill set, because that's one of those things that yes, if you're around your wife's friends, they're not going to be impressed by that. But if you're around a bunch of other dudes and they don't know it or they hadn't seen it before, they're going to be like, whoa.
The other dudes were just like watching the game. The only audience I had were women, and
for the ladies.
And it was just another reason for Britt to shake her head before she goes to bed tonight. So
and you're like, hey, I'm keeping one hand clean, ladies.
Yeah. It worked for me, and it is like what you said on the podcast. It is one of the best bites in food.
It is. It's just because you get that nice crispy skin, you get a nice solid bite of juicy meat. The problem with the drumette portion of the wing, it is a nice bite, but you can't get all of the meat that's on the drumette off at once. So you're going to deal with probably 2 or 3 very small bites, where at the flat, you can get that one perfect one.
And I'm going to say something controversial.
Go for it.
Of all the wing flavors that you can get, I think like regular buffalo sauce is like at the bottom percentile.
I don't think it's at the bottom percentile. I think it's really good. And they're especially like if you're drinking, and it's funny because so for my random ranking in the Dear Andy column a few weeks ago, I ranked types of beer. And there were a lot of people in the comments going, where's just regular beer? Well, there was a Pilsner and a lager on there, but you guys apparently don't read your cans. But when you are drinking like Bud Light or Coors Light or Busch Light or the kind of stuff that you either drank in college or you're drinking it because you want to drink mass quantities of it, buffalo wings with buffalo sauce, nothing better. It is the perfect complement to that type of beer.
Yeah, we should rank maybe one of our random rankings. Maybe next weekend we can do wing flavor sauces.
Yes, and because I'm actually a rub person more than a sauce person.
And I think you can add rubs to the list.
Yeah, so I have a salt and vinegar rub at home that when I cook wings, I'll put on there, and it is fantastic. If you like salt and vinegar potato chips, you'd love this.
I don't know if this is going to be part of the random ranking, but I'm just going to say it now.
Go for it.
I think Buffalo Wild Wings' food is just fair, but I will say that their Asian Zing sauce is delicious, and I've bought the bottles, because you can get the bottles.
Yeah,
and I've put them on the wings that we've made at home, and it's delicious.
Well, that is where I got the idea for the salt and vinegar rub, because they do it there. As far as sauces go, the one I like that actually keeps me from eating too much is the mango habanero, because it is legitimately hot, and you eat enough of that, it will curb your appetite. You won't eat too many wings, and that is an issue for me because I will sort of go in. My personal record, Ari, which I could not touch right now. I don't even think I could get within half, but I did 75 one time.
That's a lot.
So my wife was in grad school, and one of the other guys in her class, it was an all-you-can-eat wing night at a place in Gainesville called Gators Dockside, and we all went. It was there were probably like 10 people. It was me and then all these PA school students, and this guy is like an ex-bartender. Like he liked to eat too, and we just kind of kept ordering, and eventually we realized we're the only 2 people still eating, and everybody's looking at us, and we got to 75, and I think we just stopped because people had to go home. Like all I know is he and I and my wife and a couple other people then walked across the parking lot to Cold Stone Creamery, and I got a large in a waffle bowl and ate that too, and then I ran 5 miles on the treadmill.
What, the same day?
This is all the same night.
That's like harder than the Ironman.
No, it's not. Nothing is.
I don't know how
no way
could run.
I have run one marathon, and the marathon is only the third part of the Ironman. So I guarantee you, it's not as hard as that. But it was difficult. But I couldn't do it now. There's no way I could do it now. But if I get going on the wings, I will just keep eating them.
You know what's like such a kick in the groin? That like eating low carb and eating chicken is like the perfect way to eat if you eat it with a vegetable or a rice and you eat like,
Yes.
but
Well,
chicken
you shouldn't be
wings.
eating the rice if you're going low carb. You should
Yeah, no,
do,
no, I know. I'm just like a
yeah, like your
low
wings and your
carb
broccoli.
or a
Yeah.
healthy diet would consist of a bunch of protein, a
Yeah.
small portion of rice, but chicken wings for whatever reason are terrible for you.
Well, they're not. It's not for whatever reason. They're fattier, and that's why they're so good. Like you could do boneless, skinless chicken, like a
Why isn't there a
bodybuilder.
single food that just tastes delicious like that? That's just not terrible for you.
No, like there's a physiological reason that it tastes so great. Our bodies are made to crave the things that can sustain us for the longest. So think about this. In the grand scheme of things, we're really not that far from living in caves and only eating whatever it is we could go out and kill that didn't kill us first. And so our
So
bodies
you're going to
crave
explain the reason why this sick joke of an existence of ours
our
means that
bodies crave fat. Yes.
the only thing that is
That's
the only thing
why
that
fat tastes so damn good.
I don't know if it's like this is the same for everybody, but everything that I crave and want to do is going to kill me.
Yes. Exactly.
So like that's why I envy these people. Like when I go on vacation with Britt, if we go to dinner and we don't eat very well, we get desserts or whatever, like she'll wake up after 2 days at a nice vacation. You know, we ate well, we drank by the pool, by the ocean, beautiful room, beautiful suite. And she'll roll over in the morning and she'll look at me and go, God, I cannot wait to work out. And
see, that's how I am. Like,
I don't
no
know
matter
how people
badly I eat, I want to work out. I would rather work out every day.
but she craves doing things that are beneficial to her. And like I envy that. Like I don't have any cravings that like I don't like crave doing things that are going to help me. Like the things that are going to help me are like a battle.
See, I'm in a terrible mood if I don't work out. Like it ruins my day.
Like you like actively look forward to it.
Yes.
The best part of my day is when I leave the gym because it's the longest amount of time until I have to do that again.
Well, you've got to find workouts that work for you. You got to find something that's fun for you. I used to hate running. Now I really like running. And I think that's just because I'm older. I've got kids now. And the idea of a period of time, like an hour where nobody bugs me about anything is like paradise. It's just bliss.
But I just like that, like laying on my back with my shirt off,
See, I
looking
can't
at
do
CarMax.com.
I can't do that. I can't, like, I used to be able to sit and watch TV. Like, I was a big channel surfer back in the day. I can't do that now. If I don't know what show I'm watching, I don't turn the TV on.
But now it's impossible to not know what show you're watching.
Well, no, but like
so many options.
We decide we're gonna start the new season of Ozark tonight. I'm just giving an example here, but that's what you're gonna do. I don't just turn on the TV aimlessly and go, well, what do you have here? I just don't do that anymore.
Yeah, like I turn the TV on aimlessly and end up at a place, and like if I can't find something, I'll just like watch Seinfeld or something.
See, I don't do that anymore. Like I don't watch Seinfeld. My kids got into The Office and got into Parks and Rec, and every once in a while I'd sit and watch an episode with them. But I can't. Like I need to be focused, and I just can't sit around anymore. And I don't know. Like I need to have it. Like the sooner I get my workout in, the sooner everything else can start for me. My wife gets mad at me. She's like, "You're obsessed. It's just as bad." So I don't know. Maybe it is my food obsession has just been moved to an exercise.
I think that's a healthier, sustainable lifestyle. Like I envy it. I wish that like I woke up and I was like, God, like Britt was like, I'm craving a salad. I'm like, what? It's like, what are you talking about? I'm craving a salad.
That's not true. I have craved salad because I really like salads. I like vegetables, but I also eat some unhealthy salads. So yeah, I mean, I can make a salad extremely unhealthy.
I don't understand the point of eating an unhealthy salad. I don't get the point of it. Like if you're going to smash food, then smash food. Like there's no, what did Walter White say? No half measures?
Actually, Mike Ehrmantraut said it, but yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Mike Ehrmantraut, one of the most underrated television characters of all time.
Oh, he's fantastic.
And by the way, I don't know if you know this, but I just finished season 5 of Better Call Saul.
Mm-hmm.
It is awesome.
Oh, like, it's fantastic. I've been watching it since day one.
The first 2 seasons are a pill. It takes a minute. But once you get going, like I think they're releasing the final season this year. I cannot wait to watch that.
Oh, it's going to be great because Bob Odenkirk's fantastic. Ray Seahorn's awesome. And of course, you get more Mike Ehrmantraut. So how can you not love that?
They should just do a Nacho spinoff.
I would watch.
Like I could stay forever in the Breaking Bad world if I could not get.
He was also good. That actor was also very good on a show called Orphan Black, where he played like the kind of shiftless ex-boyfriend of the main character. So this is what I do though. Like, cause like when Better Call Saul comes out, that will be appointment viewing for me, but it won't be, I guess I'm not discovering much new. Like I did try to watch the Sexy Realtor show that you like, but it didn't take for me. Nah.
Well, it's not. I don't watch it because the realtors are sexy. I watch it because the properties are sexy.
Like I know, but
I mean, like honestly, like that entire show. It's like, oh, why would Ari rather live in Oklahoma? I mean, L.A. than Oklahoma? Just watch that show for an hour.
But see, that's if I do surf the internet aimlessly, I'm on Zillow.
Zillow, yeah.
So
it's like sometimes they like walk into these houses and they're in the Hollywood Hills and the entire back door of the house, or the entire back wall of the house kicks out. You've got an infinity pool and you're looking at the Malibu canyons or whatever on one side, the ocean on the other. And it's just like, yeah, dude, I'd much rather live in Norman.
Well, you know where I get my Zillow alerts are coming from now, though? Because you put me onto a show. Bozeman, Montana.
Oh, are you still watching it?
I'm through season 4. Now I've got to go back to 1883 and pick up the rest of that.
It kills off the rails real quick.
There's a lot of Yellowstone's awesome. It's so dumb. Like there are so many random murders, but it's amazing.
Yeah, and Yellowstone at times is really hard to follow too. There's a lot happening, and to me, I just think it's like really pretty to look at too, so that helps. But there's a lot of new good shows. We're watching.
Speaking of Yellowstone, I ran into Brent Vegan, the Montana State coach, at the coaches convention, and he was talking about how Beth Dutton in season 4 says there's only 3 things the news is good for: the weather, the crop report, and who are the Bobcats playing.
Yeah,
I was like, that's awesome.
How is that not a recruiting graphic?
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is now. They also have a dude in the draft who's insane. Troy Anderson. He was the best linebacker in the FCS this year. He was their quarterback as a sophomore. Like, it's crazy.
Man, this podcast is really off the rails, huh?
We are off the rails. Hey, we're talking about the draft though, and we're talking about FCS football. So
yeah,
that's all right. There is a college football question I have for you, Ari, because I have not talked to you since Auburn decided to keep Bryan Harsin. And Aaron Suttles and I hashed out all the situation and all that. I want to move past that and kind of move, probably like Bryan Harsin very much wants to move forward. I would like to move forward with this. What does Bryan Harsin do now? Like, how does he pitch recruits on coming to Auburn after all this?
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like it's just going to be, it's like a year of delaying the inevitable at this point. It's like, even though they brought him back, like, I guess he gets to collect a salary for a year, but it's like, I would be shocked if he were the head coach heading into the following year. So I don't know.
Too. I mean, because I don't know what the number is. I don't know if there's a magic number of wins that you would give him a shot. If he won 8 games, if he won 9 games, do you give him a shot at another year? But I look at the way they recruited this past year, and that's not going to work when you play
your whole premise
Georgia, Alabama, A&M every year.
Your whole premise was that the reason why he was in this position was recruiting, right? And
I think so. I think now you'll never get anybody to admit this, but you look at what happened. Look at the timing of everything. So they have the second signing day. Nobody signs. He goes on vacation. Like every coach in America goes on vacation after that. That's when they start dropping all the stuff. That's when they start leaking all the stuff. As soon as he gets out of town. Now, my guess is they looked at the situation and they're like, this doesn't work long term because this guy's not going to be able to recruit the kind of roster he needs to win. But the way they went about it was just, as shady gets.
The thing that is interesting to me is, and I don't know if this is intentional, obviously it's not, the administration created an environment that is impossible to succeed at in recruiting. And the entire situation was created because he was having a hard time recruiting. So it's like you create this situation, you put him in that position. He's in Mexico, wherever he was on vacation. You create this media shit show. We're writing about it. Everyone's
You
talking
create a
about it.
self-fulfilling prophecy, essentially.
Yeah. What you've done basically is any hope that he could turn it around in a year or two, you kneacapped him. So like now it's just like, what's he supposed to do? You know what I mean? And then he's going to fail.
Somebody called me. Somebody called me from who had worked at a different school, who'd been through not a similar situation, because I don't think you're going to find a lot of similar situations to what happened at Auburn last week, but a situation where they felt like they got railroaded. And one of the things that this person said to me that they're like, just watch, because Harsin has to hire an offensive coordinator. They're not going to give him any money to do that. So now I don't know if he'd pick anybody good anyway. The first choice was someone who,
but also if you're really good, do you want to go to a place that you might know you're going to lose your job in a year?
No, you're not. The only way to get somebody halfway decent in this situation is money whip them, is give them a fortune and give them a 3-year deal so they know they're essentially getting a big buyout once the inevitable happens. I'd be curious to know what they're willing to even pay for somebody. My guess is he's pretty handcuffed on that one too.
Yeah, and then you put yourself in a position where, it's just like you have to root against yourself to be able to move on. It's like, what's the point? You should have just cut the cord, paid the buyout, and moved on. And also too, the thing that is always interesting to me is like, if you're an Auburn fan, it's like, okay, you can root for Harsin. You want to root for your team, win as many games as you want. But the thing that I find most difficult would be, how do you root for a administration that is incompetent at times?
Right. And
it's
now,
like, that doesn't give you a good feeling about the future.
There's a new president coming in. If everything we've heard is to be believed, there will be a new athletic director. So possibly, maybe the administration gets more competent, but I don't know. I think you kind of want to root for Bryan Harsin. Now, that's what Aaron Suttles and I were talking about Friday. Like, the way he's been treated and everything that's happened to him, like, you kind of want him to stick it in their eye. I don't know that he's going to be able to.
It's a completely separate situation, but it kind of reminds me of Harbaugh a little bit.
Not that dissimilar.
It's certainly. I mean, they gave him Harbaugh enough money to retool his staff, right? And they gave him a shot to come back. And like I'm assuming that people at Michigan were rooting for him,
right? But Michigan used all of its leverage that it had to cut his pay and to make that situation.
And then Harbaugh comes
not
back,
that attractive to him. Yeah.
And he has a season that I'm not necessarily sure that he'll be able to duplicate anytime soon. And I was almost hoping he would go to the NFL just as a sign of just like, you don't mess with someone's money, And
I think that's what he was hoping too.
And I
think that was the plan.
The opportunity, and now he has to come back and say that was a one-time thing and all that stuff. And he's in Michigan for the long haul, because what else is somebody in his position going to say? You got to get recruits. Yeah. But like, I actually, people view me as a Michigan hater because I've spewed my opinions, but like, they achieved what I always thought they could. And like, I thought it was really cool that they did that, while Harbaugh did something that was incomprehensible, which is return for less money. And maybe he did so because he had nowhere to go, So it's like, I don't know. Like, I've patted him on the back a ton for being the person that has always been above money. But like, of all the coaches that we write about and talk about, I think it's fair to say that Jim Harbaugh is probably the least financially oriented person that there is in this job.
Right. He looks at it differently than most of the coaches. And that's why I don't worry as much about him in this situation, because yes, he is entering a situation where everybody who recruits against him goes, see, he tried to go to the NFL. He doesn't want to be there, blah, 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 blah. But at this point, even if you're a recruit and you're still relatively new to the whole universe of college football, like, Jim Harbaugh is a different cat. So you've kind of made your peace with that if you're really considering Michigan anyway. So I don't think that is going to hurt him as much as people think.
But I also too think it's just like cool to see somebody thrive shortly after their employer didn't treat them that great.
I agree. And Look, now, given the situation, the way it played out, though, I don't think I would I'm pretty sure Michigan did give him the extended or the new deal and more money. And I think I would have pulled that off the table if I were Michigan. I'm just all for everybody using their leverage.
But are they even? They're even
right
now.
Yeah, I think they are.
Michigan cut his salary. He looked around. Everyone's happy. They're returning back.
Right.
And,
His leverage is gone again, and that's fine. Let's just everybody move on. The Harsin thing was different because there was dirty tricks involved, and it wasn't just, well, you're not really winning much, and you only have 1 year left on your contract. That's what the Harbaugh situation was. The Harsin situation was, we realized we messed up, but instead of doing the right thing and honoring your contract by just writing you a check, we're going to do this where we leak all this stuff. We have an investigation. All these salacious rumors suddenly appear on various message boards. Like, everybody knows what you were doing there.
Yeah, I am just kind of I don't know what it would be like to be that person, because you have no choice to return. But then, who would want to work for somebody who clearly is kneecapping you?
Well, and you also have to try to succeed for people who will then be rewarded based on your success if you succeed.
Yep.
I mean, we've seen that at Auburn before when Tommy Tuberville, they went to try to find his replacement. They went to try to hire Bobby Petrino. The next year, Tommy Tuberville went 13-0. He won the SEC. Look, everybody knew what happened in Jetgate, but the Auburn administration, I'm sure, enjoyed that year and, got a lot out of that year.
Yeah, it's I have really mixed feelings about this, because also, if you're making the amount of money that they're making, it's really hard to feel bad. You can feel bad, but it's just
I feel bad for Harsin's family more than I feel bad for Harsin himself, because yes, he is paid handsomely for this, but his family members didn't sign up for any of this.
$5 million in a year is a lot to endure that week.
For Bryan Harsin.
Yeah. No, I mean, their family too, but whoever's in Bryan Harsin's family can get a Porsche Cayenne and not a Jeep.
That's true, but that does.
I read a meme somewhere.
I don't think there's an amount of money though that's going to make you feel better if someone is trashing your name or someone you love's name untruthfully. I don't think there's an amount of money that makes that better.
I take $5 million. You can say what you want about me on Twitter. I read a meme once that said
we already say everything we want to say about you on Twitter, though. That's the problem.
I've read it all. I've been called overweight by an Ohio State assistant before on Twitter. I will say I read this meme though once that said, money can't buy happiness, but I'd rather cry in a Porsche.
I mean, yeah. Listen, if you're Scrooge McDucking your way through Porsche, I wasn't going to do it. I did it once.
Yeah, I just everybody says Porsche and it just sounds better to me. I don't know.
If you're Scrooge McDucking your way through a vault, then a lot of that stuff doesn't get to you. I got you. But I still think the way that week went down, the way everything happened last week, you want some vindication for those people.
Let me ask you this.
I don't think Bryan Harsin is going to be able to get vindication with his record or his recruiting over the next 9 months.
Let me ask you this, Andy. I take Fiji water, cold, fresh Fiji water.
Okay.
I put it into a bathtub, a normal sized bathtub that you would find in a hotel room. Not a big tub, but just a regular
standard bathtub.
Porcelain bathtub. I fill it up. The bathtub's clean. It's just fresh water.
Mm-hmm.
I take a speck of sand and I drop it into the bathtub.
Okay.
I swirl the water around so the sand doesn't go to the bottom of the tub and just sit at the bottom of the tub. I take a glass as the water is swirling. I scoop this Fiji water into this clean cup and I put it on the table with you blindfolded. Mm-hmm. And I said, Andy, you have to drink this glass. And if you drink this glass and the speck of sand is not in this glass, I'll give you $1 million in cash. But if you ingest the speck of sand,
Mm-hmm.
you die instantly.
Mm.
You drink the cup.
We've had this discussion before.
We have?
Well, not this, but what amount would you do this for? $1 million's too low now. There's a lot of inflation right now, Ari.
Okay, how about a better
If
number?
I'm gonna die, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
You're right. That was a dumb amount of money. How about Bryan Harsin's salary for 1 year?
$5 million. Do I get $5 million a year for the rest of my life?
No, you get $5 million in cash. 1 year of his pain and suffering.
But I might die.
If you get the sand.
I think I'd probably take that one.
Okay, so you would be willing to risk your life.
Everyone has a price for the $1 million man. That's exactly
You're saying
right.
I don't know if there's enough money in this world that could justify the pain and suffering of somebody dragging my name through the mud, and you would risk your life.
No, it's not dragging my name through the mud. That's where you're missing the point. It's dragging someone I love's name through the mud. I don't care about me. You say whatever you want about me. It's the other people. Like, there's no amount of money you could give me that's going to make me okay with that.
So if the speck of sand scenario
kills somebody else,
you don't do it?
I absolutely wouldn't do it. No.
Okay, I was trying to get you. I was just trying to get you to be like, you're right. $5 million is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
I just wanted you to resign your factors. Just like, if I just looked at Britt and I said,
of money. You're exactly right. And look, should those people worry about what some random dipstick on the internet thinks? No, they shouldn't. But
especially because those random dipsticks that tweet at us all the time are just wrong and dumb a lot of the times. Not you, if you're listening, but the person that has no avatar with 19 numbers at the end.
Yes, the egg avatar. Yeah. That looks like their phone number. No, you listeners are the smartest, best looking people in America. We know this.
Oh yeah, way better looking.
We don't doubt this for a second. But no, and that's my thing. I know it shouldn't matter, but I will say that I think Bryan Harsin's probably a more patient person than I am, because I would have been really, really pissed. Like, I would have been wanting to hurt somebody.
If somebody gave me the sand scenario for $5 million, I'm like, give me the glass.
What if your wife was the?
I think we would agree that I should drink it. Yeah,
she would
be like, get that money, bud.
I'm not going to give you the Sophie's choice. I'm not taking this down that dark a path.
You know that you found the right woman when you come up with these scenarios, and like, I play this game. Like, we'll be eating dinner just on a Tuesday night after a long day. I got a really good one. Do you want to hear another one, or is this not good for the podcast?
Do it. Go for it.
Okay. This one was good. And I don't know if I made this up or if I read it somewhere, but I've been asking people this for a few years. You get an unlimited amount of money. Like, you can spend and spend and spend. You will never run out.
Yes.
But there is a turtle. And this turtle has a starting point. And you don't know where that starting point is. And this turtle, no matter where you are or where you move to or where you travel to, this turtle will automatically change directions and head toward you. It is programmed to find you and to come near you. So if it starts in Kansas and you're in New York, it heads northeast.
Okay.
If you fly to Seattle, it changes its progress and goes to Seattle. And if this turtle gets within 20 yards of you, you die.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know where it starts.
Yep.
You can't. If you fly overseas, the turtle will find a way onto a ship and come to you. There's no escape.
Hello, turtle. Is this a ninja turtle?
It's a regular. It moves slowly, but it would be.
Is it like pizza?
I don't know if you Google this, but how fast would it take for a turtle to walk from LA to New York would be fascinating. But would you take the money?
A long time. Yes.
If you get on the interstate,
YOLO, baby,
and you drive, you don't know whether you're getting away from the turtle. You don't know if you're going to drive past the turtle.
I'll take my chances with the turtle, baby.
Your entire life, you need to wonder every time you go to bed at night, is this going to be in the 8 hours of me sleeping? Is this turtle going to get within 20 yards of me? Would you do that mind? Could you imagine the turmoil your mind would be in? If you
I have unlimited money. I can be in the air on my private jet pretty frequently.
I understand that.
Turtle ain't getting within 20 yards of me there.
But I know, but you don't know where you're landing. If you're in New York and the turtle
might
lands
be sitting right there.
Yeah, you don't know where it is. You don't know
Turtles
where it
at the
starts.
terminal at LaGuardia.
There's no tracking device. You don't know. You'd be like, you think you're flying away to run away from it, but you could be flying right into its path. You don't know.
That is one fantastic turtle.
I'm just saying. Like,
I'll take the money.
You take all the money, and then you have to think.
I will take my chances with.
It would drive you mad. You would never be able to get over the idea that every single time you're at a dinner table, this turtle could be in the restaurant walking towards you.
It would only drive you mad unless you make your peace with that you're going to die someday and you can't control it. Which, oh, by the way, same deal if you don't get all the money in the world. So I'll take my chances with the turtle because it's really the same
family
thing.
Members.
What about them? I'm going to die. Like,
no, I'm saying, what if it was within 20 yards of a family member?
It's not killing them. It's killing me.
No.
You just said it kills me.
We changed the speck of sand to you or a loved one. What if we took it to a loved one? Well,
then I wouldn't do it.
Okay, so you're family first. Britt's going on the chopping block. Like we're unlimited wealth.
I don't want to be in charge of somebody else.
Yeah, I know, but I know Britt.
It's bad enough that somebody put, well, my wife's the responsible party, but there's two tiny humans that I have to be in charge of now. It's bad enough that someone gave me that responsibility. I don't want to be responsible for the life or death of someone. But if it's for me,
well, you're all on a team. You guys share finances. You're on a team.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But so I know what Britt would want.
Well, I just want her around, so I don't want to risk her. Yeah, so I know. There's no.
I want Britt around. No, I know you're so sweet.
But if it's me, yeah.
Well, she wants you around too. Loves to be
blind. Yeah, I know, but
think about how awesome your life would be.
Ari, she can do so much better anyway.
I know. Same with Britt, but I just want to know, like, Britt, would you rather live the next 20 years like living the yacht life, or would you rather live 60 together without much money?
Well, she's still going to be living the yacht life when you're gone. That's once that turtle gets you. Now, how does the turtle kill? Like, is this an alligator snapping turtle that kills you by biting you in a place that's very uncomfortable?
It's just a painless and sudden death.
This is like the way that Joe turtle that as soon as it hits the force field, you just boom.
The second he gets within 20 yards of you, you'll become Joe Pesci in Casino.
Oh, I'm in. Give me the turtle.
The lights just go out.
Give me the money. Sopranos. Give me the money and the turtle. Let's go.
Yeah, I got a lot of them. I got a lot of these. So stay tuned.
We're gonna do okay. There's still some stuff to talk about as we clean up the remnants of the football season. But we are going to sometime in the next month have an episode of this show that is just those questions from you.
I got to start writing them down because I
write down your best ones, and we're going to figure out because I'm fascinated by these. Like, I loved your one where you asked me if you gave me $10 million, would I go, cross the Alabama border and never cross it again and stay in the state of Alabama for the rest of my life? And I said, absolutely.
Yeah, there's coastline there.
Yes, 100% I would do that. So I love these questions. These are fascinating to me. Your mind is a labyrinth that I really would like to try to explore.
I should see somebody, I think.
Nope. I think you should just work it out right here on the podcast.
Yeah, some of them are really gross too, so I'll keep the we'll just keep it PG-13.
PG-13 is fine. It's fine. But yes, give me the money, give me the turtle. I'm not afraid of you, Michelangelo.
Says something about me, but like I feel like I would do literally anything for that kind of money. Short of killing somebody.
I think everything you've said since you've been on this show and the time
I'm learning a lot about myself. You called me a snob the other day on Twitter, and I think you're right.
Oh, I think you're very money centric, but I am curious if that is changing as you are, because you are now a dad. Your priorities might change. Things might change for you. I was certainly different after that. So
I'm money centric. I'm money centric when it comes to having a discussion about a sum that would change the way I live.
Well, you aspire to live a certain way. there's a certain level of luxury that you aspire to.
Yes.
And I think I like nice things, but you have a very defined idea in your head of what luxurious living would be. And that is your idea of perfection. That
Selling
is what
sunset.
you will.
Yeah.
Yes. That is what you would like to attain ultimately. So,
yeah, but I also am rational enough to know that life is more important than achieving those things. Than like my family, my daughter, and the house that I live in is more than enough for me to die a happy man. I just don't want to live in a world where.
But you take a Bentley Flying Spur in the garage if that was available.
Yeah. Like I mean, like if somebody wanted to drop off a Rolls Royce Phantom, I wouldn't. But like I also understand too that to acquire one of those cars or to have one of those cars, you have to have a certain type of money that is going to take quite a bit for me. I got to sell a children's book, I think, or something. But
you
never know how you can make money in 10 years.
Books,
you never know.
I personally can't wait because you need the children's book of questions where you ask little children, little Johnny, you have an option. You can have all the money in the world, but there's a turtle chasing you around that's gonna kill you.
Could you imagine
what do you do
the second my daughter is old enough to comprehend the stakes of that, like asking her that when she's like 5?
You'd have to spend it all in the therapy until the turtle showed up.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to avoid putting her in a situation where she's gonna need therapy, and like maybe that means I should go see somebody first before she starts thinking rationally.
Just let me be your therapist. All right.
Yeah, no, you're really good at that.
That's the most entertaining form. So we promise Ari's Day of Questions is coming.
This is going to be great.
I'm terrified of what I might answer, but it's going to be amazing. We'll talk to you later.